Joining me today is a true multi-hyphenate. She's an author, editor-in-chief of Women's Day, on-air personality, lifestyle and health expert, influencer, certified trainer, and mom of three. Her book, Your Fully Charged Life, a radically simple approach to having endless energy and filling every day with a yay, not a yay, multiple yays. It's the boost you didn't know, or maybe you did know that you needed. Meaghan Murphy, welcome to the middle.
Yay! Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Of course. Okay, so first, for people who haven't read it, tell me a little bit about the book without giving away any of the good secrets.
Sure. So, Your Fully Charged Life is what that big subtitle suggests. It's a radically simple approach to having endless energy and filling every day with yay. I've been a service journalist in the magazine world for 25 years. So, I've worked at places like Cosmo and Self Magazine and Good Housekeeping, and I'm now the editor in chief of Women's Day. And during that 25-year span, I've really road tested all of the tips and tricks and strategies that I've written about and edited about on myself and used myself as a guinea pig. And in that process, I transformed from somebody who was inherently negative and had a really tumultuous teen year period, including hospitalizations and a best friend's suicide and really intense things, to someone who arguably farts rainbows. And I have rewired my brain. I have changed my brain chemistry by really diving into the field of positive psychology and neuroscience and allowing that science to work for me. I fun filter that science and give you practical advice that you'll actually want to use to live with more optimism and joy. And it is absolutely not a life makeover because I don't believe any of us are broken and need fixing. But I do believe tomorrow could be more awesome. And I do believe that there is one little simple to do that's going to help create that positive momentum in your own life.
I love everything about it. So it sounds like you had been kind of working on this for yourself for years, but what inspired you to turn it into a book and share it with the world?
So my father was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and that's a crap disease. You're gone in 5 months. And there was a moment where I was with him in chemo, and I said, Dad, I'm not giving up. I'm absolutely not giving up. And the nurses are coming in and out and pumping him with chemicals, and he's in this gross green vinyl recliner. And I just, with tears in my eyes, I said, Dad, how do you want to be remembered? What do you want your legacy to be? And he was so damn clear. He knew exactly how he wanted to be remembered. And it was incredibly simple. He wanted to be remembered for this point that he did, the pop point, where he pointed at us to help us feel like we knew we were recognized and seen and acknowledged. And he had this thing he used to do with the kids where he would fill his pockets with fake sea glass from Michael's and walk along the beach, and his little treasure hunters, his 11 grandchildren, would find that sea glass, because now with recycling you just don't get that same amount of sea glass at the
Right.
Jersey Shore. But he was like, I want you to continue the sea glass legacy, and I also want you to continue scratch off lottery tickets. He had this way of hiding lottery tickets under plates at any family meal, and everyone would go around the table and you'd have to scratch it off and say if you were a winner or a wiener. The 11 grandchildren sometimes ended in tears if they were in fact a wiener. But those were the three things that he wanted to be remembered by. And this was a man who had a very successful corporate career in HR for many, many years. You know, he provided a nice life for our family. But those were the three things. And so in that moment, I got the chance to ask that of myself. How did I want to be remembered? What did I want to leave behind? And for me, it became very, very clear that I wanted to leave a legacy of positive energy. I had been through some hard times. This was another hard time that I was now about to endure. But I had this toolkit. I had this fully charged toolkit that helped me to endure hard things more easily. And so it became very clear to me that my legacy was a legacy of positive energy and this toolkit in book form. And I became incredibly determined. He was gone, weeks later after that conversation. And I was determined to write this book, determined to get a book deal, determined to find I was relentless. I knew that this was my purpose. And that's really how the book was born. But I've been living this way for many, many years. It wasn't until I asked myself that bold question that I knew I had to do it.
And I'm sure he was there helping you at every step of the way after it was written. What has been the most gratifying feedback or success story that you've received from readers who are practicing this?
My favorite thing in the whole wide world is when people DM me pictures of the book with sticky notes and highlights, because that means they're using it, right? Like that, the fact that the book is being used is super, super gratifying. Or if someone sends a picture of flowers in their house, because one of the things I say in the extra charge chapter is, hey, guess what? You need to put flowers in your house. I see the flowers behind you. There's Harvard research that suggests that having fresh cut flowers in your house can actually ease anxiety and boost your mood. And so when people send me those flowers, or people send me a picture of their bright, colorful outfit, I talk about dopamine dressing up to feel up. When people show me a bright, colorful outfit and say, you know what? I'm dressing up to feel up. I'm doing my dopamine dressing. And like, that is so gratifying. I talk a lot about the power of so-called weak ties, how you treat one person is how you should treat everyone. And I'm really dying to start this movement called check-in at checkout, where you get off your phone and you recognize and register someone's humanity at the register, use their name tag and engage. And so when people come back to me and say, I'm now friends with Pete in the produce department. I had walked by him for months, years, never said a word. And now we engage and we spark each other and we create that lightning bolt effect of good energy. Just those ripple effects of electric good current is so gratifying to me that I have anything to do with sparking people.
And you talk about gratitude a lot in the book. So I guess for someone who is new to this whole idea, what are some easy steps that they could do to be more grateful on a daily basis?
Sure. So I talk endlessly about gratitude being the secret sauce in life. And the book, I geek out over the science. It's all about Martin Seligman, his perma theory of wellness, and the P is for positive emotions, and gratitude is a key piece of that. And I'm a person who's not woo-woo. There's no crystals in my pocket. Like, I don't have a vision board. I couldn't keep a gratitude journal. So as much as I knew up here that I should keep a gratitude diary, I couldn't do it. It felt like homework. And so what I do is our gratitude practice in my house is we ask each other, what made you say yay today? We'll be sitting around the dinner table, and when I tuck my 3 kids in at night, what made you say yay today? It's a simple practice of prioritizing positivity, looking for the good in the day, and then celebrating it. That's what a gratitude practice is. It doesn't have to feel like homework. It doesn't have to feel hard. The key is pausing to appreciate the things that are good in life. And I give you sneaky ways to do that. Another thing is, it's simple semantics, but what if you change your have to's to get to's? I don't have to do this interview. I get to.
Right.
I get to be here with you for 30 minutes, right? I don't have to go to the gym. I absolutely get to, because I am healthy and strong, and I get to do that. The world is open again, and so I get to go to the gym. What if you make that simple little tweak in your own life? How would that change the way you approach today?
Yeah, I love that. And you were the first person like in this space that I've heard say that you don't keep a gratitude journal. So I'm glad to hear that, because I'm the same way. And then I feel guilty when I don't have a
No, the
second.
hell
I
with
have
that.
the time, but sometimes I just don't do it. And
Because
then
it's not fun. And
Right.
here's the thing. I think that my skill set is that I have a fun filter, and that I am going to take the science, but I'm going to fun filter it for you. And I'm going to give you actionable advice that might actually be fun to try. Because guess what? If it's fun, you're going to stick with it. You're going to do it. And then it's going to have an impact. But if it feels like homework,
you're not going to do it. Exactly.
Nope.
So I asked this to all of my motivational writers and inspiring humans in general. You are this positive, upbeat person that we are all aspiring to be. So do you, which I'm sure you do, everyone does, have low energy days? And if so, how do you turn them around?
Every day could start potentially as a low energy day. And for me, it is absolutely just relying on my toolkit. And what my book is, what Your Fully Charged Life is a toolkit. I have endless tools in my toolkit that I pull out when necessary. I often wake up grumpy, moody, angsty, right? That's my negativity bias at work. I was a kid nicknamed Grumpy. That's who I am at my core. I train to live differently. I work hard to live differently, but I don't wake up smiling, but I know that if I wake up cranky, angsty, miserable, any of those things, I know exactly what I need to do to get unstuck. And that might be making my bed, because 84% of people who make their bed report feeling more productive and accomplished, and therefore satisfied and happy throughout the course of the day. All right, I will sometimes nudge my husband. All right, it's time to get up, go make some I want to make the bed, because I know I feel better when I make the bed. I know that I'm going to work out. When I move my body, I feel better. Movement is medicine. I talk a lot about that in the health charts chapter. If I'm feeling really crappy, am I protecting my sleep? Am I sleep training? Am I on a routine? Because routine is key when it comes to sleep. Am I dressing up to feel up? There was moments during the pandemic when I was like changing from like dirty pajamas to clean pajamas. And I'm like, why
Right.
do I feel so crappy? Oh, because I haven't buttoned anything in 6 months. Right. And so that impacts my mood. When I beach wave my hair, I put on a swipe of mascara, I behave differently. I feel differently. I think differently. That's important. Am I sparking love charges? There were moments where I realized I needed to sit on my front porch and interact with the UPS man. And I would order crap on Amazon I didn't need just for that interaction,
Right.
because people need people, right? Did I need that? Did I need that love charge? Did I need, and it's not like I'm going to braid his hair or invite him for a barbecue, but I like that little bit of an interaction.
Right. Right. Right.
We need each other, right? There's a loneliness epidemic in this country. And we don't need necessarily, 5 new best friends. We need 20 new acquaintances that
Yeah.
we recognize and acknowledge and smile at, because we all need to feel seen.
And that sense of, I know for me, it's like a fulfillment sense. Like when I have a good interview, when I have a good conversation, it's like, it is like a charge. Like I feel like I was plugged in and now I'm like, okay, I could go back to doing like the mundane things or whatever, the have to do
Exactly.
things.
And I think people don't realize just how important those little interactions are. Think about how good it feels when the barista knows your name and puts it on the cup and you didn't even say your order. That feels good,
Yeah,
right? Like it feels
absolutely.
good to be seen and to be known. I talk about it as the Cheers effect. And I'm old, so I used to watch Cheers. But when you go somewhere and everyone knows your name, you feel welcome. You feel a part of something. Community is important. And having that sense of belonging is fundamental to our contentment and
Yeah,
our ability to thrive.
absolutely. So I'm curious, coming from the magazine world and you're still in it, you're an editor. What's the difference in the feeling having when you have this book finished and it's out now, it's out, it's there, and that's like such a long form piece of work that you accomplished compared to these shorter articles and everything you've done up until this point and are still
It's
doing?
Oh my gosh, it's so surreal. I love that you asked this question, because it was very like, I put out a magazine every month, right? And I put out the magazine and it's on the newsstand, then I sell the magazine and then I put out the next one.
Mhm.
With a book, it doesn't go away. My book baby is now 4 months old and I'm like, oh, I still got to take care of it,
Yeah.
right? Like this is my book baby for life, and this is going to be on bookshelves for life. This is a forever project, not a once a month thing. And that was interesting to me at first. Like my editors at Penguin Random House were like, "It's a marathon, like not a sprint. Like this wasn't
Right.
just like you put it out and peace. This is like." This is now your baby. Watch it grow, nurture it, take care of it. I was like, oh, okay. And then the editor in me is like, I want to change that. I wish I could do that differently. Oh, it's like, nope. Like my paperback comes out and I get to write a new intro, and I'm like,
Okay.
oh.
That's, yeah, it's so interesting. And then is, with that said, do you have another book in you or is this a one and done?
Oh no, no, I have like 10 more books in me, but
Okay.
now I'm kind of workshopping with my agent and Penguin Random House, what is the next book? Because you don't necessarily as an author get to just write everything you want when you want to, because you do need to sell books.
Right.
So we're sort of now going back and forth on what comes next. And I have some things that I really want to do, and they have some things they want me to. So it's a question of what comes next. But this is one of many. I'm not done. I've got a lot to say.
Well, I can't wait to hear it. For people who don't follow you, what is your Instagram so I could put it up?
I'm at Meaghan B Murphy with all the letters Meaghan B Murphy. And I also do something called the Yay List, which is sort of a living gratitude journal, and that's just at the Yay List.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so everybody followed both. I'll put them both up. Oh, Meaghan, it was so nice talking to you and so nice to virtually meet you. And I
Yes.
am, oh, no, that's what I wanted to ask you. The Audible version, that's you reading it, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm so proud of the Audible version, because I had COVID while I was recording it. It was like down to the wire. And of course, me, my 3 kids, my husband, and my 71-year-old mom somehow all got COVID. We were
Oh,
so
sorry.
cautious I mean, it was like gut wrenching, because we did everything right, right? We were super, super careful, all the things. And the next thing I know, I have COVID, my husband, my 3 kids, and I need to record my audiobook. I don't have time. Like the release is February 23rd. It all goes out February 23rd. They start talking about, oh my gosh, we're going to need a narrator. And I'm like, unless it's Drew Barrymore, I'm really not on board for this. Like that's the
Right.
only cool, that would be the only way it would be cool. And that's not happening.
Yes.
So I had to rally. It took everything in my being to record that audiobook. It took me 2 days, 10 hours a clip. I was drinking tea, popping, like throat soothing lozenge. I mean, it was intense. Um, but I'm so proud of it because it was such a feat for me. I mean, it was all grit and grace to get through that because I was so determined.
Well, I was going to say, if you want to listen to it, I'm listening to it, and I love, I follow you, so I know your voice, and it's an extra boost. It's an extra uplift. So that's shocking to me that you were sick
Oh,
during
I
that
was super
time.
sick.
I
Fun fact, I was an actress and I used to do voiceovers. I went to Mason Gross School of the Arts and studied acting. So for me, it was like, it was just such a full circle moment of like, and now I'm doing my, but like, ah,
it's,
but
I mean,
I was hurting. I was absolutely hurting. And it was such like reading your own words is just the most amazing, intense, exciting feeling in the whole wide world. And of course, then I'm like starting to edit myself because I'm like, why did I write it that way?
you're like, it's done, just read it.
I'm like, okay, just
Yeah.
read it, just read it.
No, it's awesome. Again, congratulations on everything. And it was
Thank you
so
so
nice to meet
much.
you.
Yay.